help if I hit my microphone? Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Ada Kay, and we're going to dive into a few things today. We've got a lot going on, a lot to catch up on. So I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, I feel like hi, Toxic. Hey, Britta. Ayler. I have not been on, I think, forever. 2 days. So I want to welcome you back. Thank you guys for coming back. Well, I'm trying to find, and I can't, where the trial is going to be broadcasted from today. I do know that there's something about them going live at noon. So if anybody has any heads up, let me know. Went well. Gotta be. Could have had an A if I'd known it was an open book. Well, honestly, open books are good, I guess, but also they're not good because to me it's like the final exam is not going to be open book, so why would you do it on the quizzes and tests? So, got everything figured out. I got a big test Wednesday. Oh, my interpreter has been hired. So, yay, which reminds me, I need to let the interpreter know that, well, I'm live, Miss Diane. So let me see if she's available. We got to do birthdays, and then we've got several cases we need to dive into while we're awaiting. Uh, check my Discord. Where Toxic under you? Because I have no new notices. I'm here. I have nothing new. Okay, I guess she's working. I have you up. I don't have anything new. I really don't. The last thing I have from you was 9/6. Let me look on the computer. I have it up on my iPad. Let me look on the computer. Yeah, I don't have anything from you since 9/6. Yeah. Oh, mind you, Miss Kevin, when she hops on, I'm gonna have her put you on. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Miss Kevin, let me let her know I'm live. Is gonna have to add you, love. So let me get Miss Kevin in know and see if I can get her. Can you? Okay, I just asked her to add you. Okay. Okay. So I just resent it. So we're gonna go there. So that's up and running. She just got back in town from a wonderful wedding and all of that good stuff. So let's do this. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, guys, we have birthdays, y'all. And I have a friend who's got a birthday. So we've got to do the birthdays today. I cannot not do them today. All right, because that would be horrible.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Kimberly.
To you.
Gotta turn that down. That's a little loud for me, guys. Sorry. Happy birthday, Miss Teresa, my ASL interpreter friend. Kim, Bertini, Ali, Janice, Heather, Samantha, another Heather, and Miss Connie. Happy, happy birthday, you guys. We love and appreciate you. Y'all have a great day. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to go get the door. I'm going to just put some wonderful music on and I shall return. I apologize. Never mind. We all good. I know my hair is a hot mess today, y'all, but I've been wearing my hair up for so long, I needed to take a break. So, we are going to dive into a few things. One of the things I was going to dive into, let's start off with Sarah Boone. Yes, Boom Baggin' Sarah. Um, I have this document in front of me. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with that because, oh my gosh, y'all won't be able to see all this, but y'all, it is massive. This is the breakdown of her expenses from January 1 of 22 to 8/22 of 24. So 22, they only had two charges in 23. 80% of this list is in 22. The rest got two charges in 23 and about 2, 6, 8, 10, and 24. The grand total of this list that you're looking at, because I added it up, is 10,000. That's not even including the ones for the 15, well, the 10,000 plus the 1,000 for the investigator. None of that. This is just travel and other fees. So, sorry about that. My son had to share something business wise. So, this entire thing was just some of the charges. We have deposition transcripts, we have some mental health, which was 1,300, 60. Oh, wait, I added it up wrong. I added the rates up. Anyway, I'm sorry. We're over $20,000. My bad. We're over $20,000 plus easily on her case. So anyway, I'll add it up again. I'm looking at these numbers going, "Oh crap." Her mental health billed $200 an hour for 30 hours. 47 hours, well, let's round it up to 48 hours at $40. That's 1,900 for her an investigative. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. So, I just want you to see we have this list. It is in our Discord. So, that is awesome. Awesome, awesome. And I'm so grateful that we have that. I'm going to bring the next piece here up. This is the notice. Is it this one? Let's see. Let's see. A notice of co-counsel. All righty. Let me embiggen this a little bit so I can read it. Every time I go to embiggen this stuff, it just here, let's do focus. Let me dag nabbit. I just messed up. There, we got it. So one of the things that's frustrating me about some of this documentation is I am trying to figure out how to embiggen it. and share it. Oh, focus. Let me see if I can embiggen. Why won't it embiggen? Why will it not embiggen? Why will it not embiggen? This is frustrating. It won't embiggen. I'll just have to just put it up as it is. I apologize. Oh, we'll just have to do it anyway this way. Share. Okay, here we go. Maybe if I do it this way. There we go. All right. So what this is a notice hereby given that Kevin T. Beck hereby enters his appearance as counsel to James Owen on behalf of the defendant in the above case. So yay, they have that. I'm going to move this and do it this way. And then the next thing that we have, which I kind of found interesting. I don't know why my computer's not acting right. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So let me share screen. Okay. Really? Now you're doing this? I don't know why it was doing that, y'all. I really don't, and it's driving me crazy. We'll just do this and make it big for you guys. Bring it down a little. There we go. I'm just trying, guys. It's a Monday. It's definitely a Monday. Okay. In the circuit court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit, notice of provisions of discovery now the state of Florida by through an undersigned as assistant state attorney is given notice of copies of the below listed digital evidence has been disclosed to, of course, her attorney. Once again, we have all of the case packets. We have the USB 3D scans. We have 6 different discs. So all of the evidence now they are claiming has been turned over. Yay! That's a good one. So that's done. By the way, I think if it's this document, we may be I saw the word. Why is that highlighted? It shouldn't be. Maybe this is what I need. I saw the word pro se somewhere, so they are going to be pro se. Yeah, yes, I think I got it. I think I got it. Hey, Sneaky! Oh, enjoy your appointment. Not. But we wish you well. I don't know why this is highlighted. It's the way it is in the document that I have. Notice of intent to rely on the defense of battered spouse syndrome comes now the defendant by and through the undersigned attorneys. Um, so notice intent to rely on battered syndrome states that at the time of the alleged offense, the defendant was suffering from battered women's syndrome as a result of physical psychological abuse the defendant sustained at the hands of the alleged victim, George Torres. Dr. Julie Harper will be a category witness for the defense to establishing this condition on behalf of the defendant. Dr. Judy Harper is a forensic psychologist. So that will be interesting. That will be interesting. And the rest of the document, of course, is the filed information, which we don't need that. So, wow, interesting. So we now have some information there. Yes, exactly. And the other thing is that we're gonna have is we also have, um I didn't get a text from him, did I? Oh, I guess I did. Um, so the other thing that we have from them is that we actually, I saw documents, I can't remember where. Please forgive me that this is a pro se. I don't know why he said it wasn't, but one of these attorneys is a pro se attorney. Anybody know where this recovery addict is heading home? Oh, snap. That's what I was gonna show you. Um, we're gonna watch this. If those of you who haven't heard, Kohlberger, the judge came down with the decision on whether or not to, go ahead or not to go ahead and, give a change of venue. We're gonna hear right now the
Live. I'm Kelly Craft sitting in today for Ted Rollins along
I
with
meant pro
Julia
bono, Haley.
Janae. We do
You're
have some
right,
breaking
my
news to
bad.
tell you
Pro
about
bono.
the trial out there in Idaho for Brian
Pro bono,
Kohlberger.
pro
The
bono.
judge has granted the defense motion for a change of venue. So a big development there in that case out of Idaho.
Absolutely. The defense has been trying to get it out of Latah County, there where those 4 University of Idaho students were tragically killed inside of that off-campus apartment. And they've wanted to get it to a bigger county, Ada County, where Boise, Idaho, the capital of the state is. And now
My
we are getting
county.
word into our Court TV newsroom that the judge is agreeing to let that change of venue happen. So this could really change how things unfold, especially for jury selection in this case.
We just got into our newsroom a copy of the judge's decision. So it's pretty long. We were taking a look at it. It went through all the details that are known so far in this case. And he really talked about the totality of the circumstances here. And that is exactly why he decided to grant this motion to change venue. I think we're going to bring in our guest now, Julia.
Yeah, let's bring in criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully, who is standing by. Joseph, we've been watching this case from the very beginning, and there was a question of whether the judge would grant this. It can be rare for a change of venue to be approved by a judge. Your thoughts on the judge's decision in this case?
Well, you're absolutely correct. It is incredibly rare for a judge to grant a change of venue. It's a very complicated motion, very time-consuming, and you have to hire, experts that bring in statistics, analyze media. Obviously, this is going to be an unpopular decision for a judge to take the sense of justice away from a community to try their own case. However, I think that the judge made the right call. These crimes were so heinous and so well covered on the media that even if there was if there was a conviction in the case in that town, there really would have been a big chance for an appeal to win based on the trial was not fair. And so I think the judge made the right call by being able to move the case and preserving the sanctity of the jury's verdict.
The state was hopeful that it wouldn't be moved. Let's go ahead and play a little bit of the state's argument.
I'm not gonna go into all that. We've heard it. Yay! I'm happy about that. Well, I'm happy the decision was made. I've been kind of wondering how long it was gonna take. Sometimes it could take a little longer than that. So, as I see in comment, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. We have a new sponsor and a partnership. Let's meet them. I'd like to welcome, as the gavel drops, to our partnership and as a sponsor. As y'all know, documents are very important to what I do, and they seem to have all the latest documents as fast as you can get them. They are right now currently hosting approximately 500 cases, and to which you join, which is free, can go and pull up all the documents you want. If you love to read court documents, you love to be in the know, and you love to keep up with what we are talking about and be able to read it for yourself, please join As the Gavel Drops in Discord. Thank you, As the Gavel Drops, for all your love and support since the conception of this channel. We are blessed to have you as a partner. So yay. Yay. Yes. Thank you. As the gavel drops, y'all are awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, now they've delayed it to 1. So we have some time to kill. And right now, one of the things is we also have I've made a decision, and it was not an easy decision, but I think it's the best decision um for this channel at this time. We and no, I covered breaking news. If I don't have anything going on and we've got some major breaking news, I'll cover it, but I'm not going to follow it day after day, i.e., for example, the Georgia school shooting. Two reasons why I want to do that. Number one, it can be very triggering to a lot of people. Number two, it was real heavy for me. I was beat down and had to just kind of step away from it. Even though I am a first responder, even though I do see it a lot, it is exhausting to sit here and mentally cover something of that nature. I don't know if I'll cover the trial. I'm trying to avoid a lot of children trials. I may cover the father's trial, but the thing is that I have to I'm I'm trying to pick a lane and stay in that lane. It is there's a lot of people out there who are covering it, and I thank everybody for watching that day. If anything like that happens again, if I am not actually on a live like this, I may cover it for a little while, but we're not going to follow it on the child side. Number one, it's much harder because all of the documents, or most of them, should be a little bit more difficult to get. And also, I just don't feel like that is where my lane is at this time. The fathers, I may cover because he's an adult. Um, it's just too heavy. It's just too heavy. And there are other trials and stuff going on right now that we need to focus on. We will be focusing on the um, Chevil, Laura trial. I'm brain dadding it again, y'all. Oh, the Laura is it Shaver trial, and we will be doing that one until the Boone trial or another trial starts. If I'm correct, let me get my calendar up here. So, what's coming up? We have on the 9th. Did we have a Boone hearing today? Was there a Boone hearing? I don't know why I have it on the 9th. It may be the wrong date. I'll check. But this week we have the Laura Shaver trial. But Donna Adelson starts on the 17th. And then in October 7th is the Sarah Boone. So we're going to have some overlapping in trials. We will decide which trial to continue at what time. Yes. So with that, everybody, I'm excited. I am expanding my knowledge. I'm not been really big on Google Docs, but I have expanded my knowledge to Google Docs, and I'm trying to learn how to do all that. It's just oh so fun. Does anybody know who's hosting the trial? Does anybody know? I need to get the camera up. I got to help my son today with some of the customers. So, please be a little patient. His stomach isn't feeling too well. So, if I have to get up, I'll put something on for you. Uh, let me see if we have the Discord banner for. I know it's harder, but let me see if I can get Miss Kevin. Mm. Y'all, it has been an interesting couple of days. Let me do this. I'm live. By the way, we are looking for a couple new mods. If you're interested in mod, let us know. We would greatly appreciate it. ADHD Jelly Bean, do you know how to post the Discord for myself and also, well, I can just go. What am I thinking about? As Gavel drops, as Gavel drops. I can't copy yours, guys. I'm so sorry. Here is my as the gavel drops. If you would like to hop over there, y'all can connect with Miss Toxic that way, if you wish. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Just FYI, I woke up with a headache today. It was going into a migraine. If I seem a little out of funk, that is why. I do apologize. We are waiting for the trial. I don't know if they have gotten their jury yet. I'm trying to find out. Long crime. I'm looking. Yes, ADHD Jelly Bean. If you can keep looking, either law and crime or whoever has the trial, because I am struggling to find the link. It was supposed to be today. They were supposed to go into opening statements today. So, yes, please boost both of us if you can. I'm not sure how to do that. Oh, the one that we're here for, the Laurie Shaver trial. Yeah, my son is not feeling well, so I will be having to take the um shop. So when the bell goes off, I have to run, but that's okay. We will get it going. Let's see what we can entertain with between now and then. Let's look at some of the um Lori Daybell, Daybell, Laurie Shaver. Stuff that's happened in the past. I don't know a whole bunch of this case, but I found it interesting that she did an interview with her attorney. I thought that was absolutely insane. Here's Fox 30 about short. Uh, yeah, let's see this one. I want to see this. Um,
potentially be that Miss Shaver, Isabel Shaver, was the one that actually shot the victim. Miss Shaver made statements to Mr. Narvaez years later indicating such. Those are clear out-of-court statements made by a witness, Miss Isabel Shaver, to Mr. Narvaez, used to prove the truth of the matter asserted, so they are clearly hearsay.
All right, so here with us this morning, we want to welcome in Laurie Shaver's attorney, Jeffrey Wiggs. Jeffrey, good morning. Thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Certainly. So soon after Laurie's daughter said that she killed her father. This was soon after Laurie was arrested. Apparently, the child made this admission, and so this is kind of hard, I think, for all of us to wrap our heads around. A 7-year-old girl admits to killing her father. Then, what's changed now? Fast forward now. Here, we're getting ready for trial. What, if anything, is different?
Well, really what happened is the child had stepped forward at the beginning of this incident and relayed to me what had happened. I kept it really very brief and had an attorney, independent attorney assigned on her behalf, and that's Kelly Johnson. Kelly represents the minor child, but the minor child has always persisted. She wants the truth to come out. She wants the jury to know what happened. So she feels regretful what happened, but the whole matter was a matter of defense for her mother. She stood there and watched her mother being beaten, saw her mother crying for help, and the father threatening to kill her. That's how this matter surfaced. Ms. Johnson and myself went to the state attorney's office. We wanted to relay to them that this child had stepped forward and what they might want to do. There was another individual in the house at that time that actually discharged the gun after the minor child and disposed of the body. We relayed that to the state. They were not interested in getting down to the truth and really digging into this as we were. But here we go. Now we're set for trial.
So a couple questions. I want to take these in turn. So the other individual who you're saying was there, who is this boy? Is this an ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, Miss Shaver at that time was dating a man by the name of Jeremy Townsend. Mr. Townsend walked in incident to the child shooting the father, who was not supposed to be in the residence. And came in the residence trying to persuade Laurie to go back with them.
Great point.
She wouldn't go back with him. And then this altercation erupted. He was shot and was sitting in a chair, and Mr. Townsend came in and finished him off, told Miss Shaver to get the kids out of there and he would take care of this. He took the body somewhere unbeknownst to Miss Shaver, and later it ended up in the backyard, unbeknownst to Miss Shaver. They had an area that they were preparing to make a duck pond out of. It later got abandoned, and that became the patio.
So when did she start dating Jeremy Townsend?
Well, it was some time before then. The exact dates, I don't know. Either Miss Shaver will testify to that. We've subpoenaed Mr. Townsend, having relayed to the state what had happened. I don't know if Mr. Townsend, will show up. We have been unable to get service on him. He has an attorney. We asked if they would accept service. They indicated they have, but I haven't seen a return of service come back.
Gotcha.
So I presume Mr. Townsend has some deal negotiated with the state, whether he shows or not.
Mm-hmm. And Jeffrey, you mentioned maybe Laurie will testify to that. Is your client, Laurie Shaver, going to testify?
That's always a decision I leave to the client. I advise them one way
We'll
or
look at
another
that
as to my
next.
feelings on the matter. Let them make the ultimate decision at the trial. After they've heard the evidence, let them make the decision.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So backing up again, I want to go back to the child who was 7 years old at the time. How in the world did that child know how to operate a firearm?
This child, no age has been placed on this child. The child was deposed. The state inquired as to her age. The child really couldn't articulate as to her precise age at that stage. The state doesn't have a firm date of death regarding Mr. Shaver. They have a speculative death based on their own conjecture. The medical examiner was deposed. It was his testimony. The body could have been in the ground for a matter of months to several years. So that's incumbent upon the state to establish the date of death, but they're going to have some problems with that issue amongst others.
Appreciate that. So there was also evidence about alleged abuse that's been blocked from coming into the case. How might that affect your defense case, Jeffrey?
Well, this was a marriage. This man repeatedly battered Lori. We're not fabricating this. There's court records that show applications for injunctions. There's a prior conviction on Mr. Shaver for battery. And multiple DCF reports. There will be some inkling of information that comes out. Now, I'm concerned, as anybody should be, that other incident reports and other data don't flood the trial to where they become the center of the action. But there's photos of injuries and other events that occurred, and the minor child will be testifying and give testimony why she acted in this manner. And I expect that child in those photographs and some of that testimony and the prior events will come in that fashion.
This is quite a case. As you well know, Jeffrey Wiggs, thank you so much for coming on the program. We certainly would welcome you back after everything gets underway, and take good care, and we'll speak again soon, I hope.
Okay. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
I'm trying to find the interview. I'm trying to find the interview. Um, let me see what this says here today. At 12, okay. Investigator say Laurie's okay. I'm looking to see. Mm. There's a channel that's following, but I don't see a live button. I'm trying to find the court feed for this. It's not been easy to find. I will be honest. Yeah, but I came across here. Yeah, I will see where Broken Baker and everybody else gets theirs when they hop on. So, let me do here. Why is this so difficult to find? If one of you can find it, put the link in the comments. I'm gonna shut the door. Sensei, go lay down. Sensei, go. My poor puppers. I know, looking for Canada, you can't find it. But the thing that concerns me is I wouldn't. Obviously, she does not have a good, loving relationship with her daughter. There is no way, and there's no way that this woman, if she loved her child, would throw her under the bus. I'm perplexed. There's no way a 7-year-old could do all this. Y'all, when I pull up the fundraising video, a lot of weird stuff comes up. So let me go. Oh, I know. Canada is so hard. Let me do it this way. Mm-mm. Nothing's coming up. Did they pull the video? No. Even if they did it, I would be taking the fall for them. I would take the fall for my kids. I would never let them take the fall for me. Ever. It's insane, y'all. Exactly. My dog just went, I'm like, yep. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I've seen the video. Why can't I find the video? Hey, Momo Shark, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are waiting for the court to begin, and I'm trying to find a video that is not coming up. Found it. Yay! Don't you love it when it just happens when you need it to? Here we go. This makes me sick. Absolutely sick. Here we go. If you haven't seen this, get ready to be sick.
But I don't know why I've been targeted, why I've been set up, or charged with this heinous crime. I am not guilty.
It is quite the murder mystery. A Florida wife accused of murdering her husband and burying his body, but could her young daughter actually be the killer? What about someone else? We'll break down the details of this case and discuss it all with the defendant's own attorney, who has some shocking allegations for us. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We got a really different case for you right now out of Lake County, Florida. And it concerns 41-year-old Laurie Shaver. She is accused of murdering her former husband, Michael, and then burying his body in the backyard. Now, this case has a lot of twists. And in a little bit, I'm going to play you what I will say is my surprising interview with Laurie's attorney, Jeffrey Wiggs, because he revealed some very, very interesting information regarding a possible defense. But before we go there, Laurie Lee Shaver, she is currently charged with murder in the second degree with a firearm and accessory after the fact. This is out in Lake County, Florida. And by the way, her felony charges, they show up on TruthFinder. Yeah, so when we ran a check on her, we typed in Shaver's name, age, state of residence, and in less than a minute, our paid subscription gave us access to court records, including her felony charges and a citation for speeding that dates back to 2015. Yet Law and Crime partners with TruthFinder, and we use it to get details of the people involved in our stories. But even if you don't work in true crime, TruthFinder could just be an excellent resource to give you some peace of mind. It's one of the largest public record search services in the United States. And with a paid subscription service, you can get access to unlimited reports about almost anyone. And right now, you can get 50% off of your first month of confidential background reports. Just go to truthfinder.com/LC sidebar. Hope you can check it out. Now, according to an affidavit of probable cause that was filed back in 2020, police are called to the Shaver's home back in February of 2018. This was a welfare check on Michael because it turns out a friend, Scott Amatuccio, called the police saying no one had heard from Michael in 3 years, since the end of 2015. And this friend said that Laurie was possibly not telling the truth about Michael. The probable cause affidavit reads, quote, Laurie vaguely claimed Michael left in a black SUV, yet Scott knew his possessions to still be at the home afterwards. Scott found the text messages to Michael's boss quitting his job and giving away his tools to be unlike him. Scott believed Laurie was pretending to be Michael on his Facebook. Scott also thought the concrete slab/fire pit that appeared on the property after Michael's disappearance, along with Laurie quickly remarrying, was suspicious. Scott consulted with Michael's family, who also agreed he would never leave his kids to start a new family, as Laurie claimed he had. It goes on to say, quote, while investigating the well-being check, defendant Laurie Shaver told deputies Michael left the family and was in Georgia. She said the last time Michael was at their house was when he picked up his belongings after his arrest for domestic violence in September 2014, and the last time she saw him was during a DCF custody trial in 2015. Then the documents go on to explain how Laurie was cooperative with law enforcement, but then suddenly told deputies to leave the property when they asked about that concrete slab fire pit and asked if they could have a cadaver dog sniff around there. And yes, authorities ended up determining Michael's gone. No current cell phone. His license and passport expired. His car was repossessed. No one had seen him since 2015. There's this line too I want to mention. Quote, during the missing person investigation, Travis Filmer, Laurie Shaver's boyfriend, who she began dating in approximately January, April 2016, told deputies that Laurie made the statement about Michael Shaver that, quote, it's not that he's missing, he's no longer walking this earth. Laurie also told him regarding Michael that something bad had happened and there was a body on the property. Talking about him for a second, there's this too. Laurie told her boyfriend Travis Filmer that she was divorced and married him even though her marriage to Michael was still valid. And when questioned by her sister-in-law about her divorce, she stated it was final and that Michael was at the courthouse with her for the hearing in a separate room. So then we fast forward to March 9th, 2018, and pursuant to a search warrant, authorities find Michael's body. They find his skeletal remains underneath that concrete slab and fire pit. Quote, also removed from around his body was a tarp, a set of ratchet straps, and the remains of a fitted sheet. The tags indicate the sheet was queen size and purchased at Kohl's, a department store frequented by Laurie Shaver, as proven by her bank records. The remains were confirmed to be those of Michael Shaver by DNA. Michael Shaver's cause and manner of death is homicide by gunshot wound to the back of the head with a posterior to anterior trajectory, meaning back to front. A single .38 caliber class projectile was recovered from Mr. Shaver's skull. They also apparently found the possible presence of blood in the track of the sliding glass door that was leading from the dining area to the porch of the home as well. So law enforcement, they came up with a timeline here. They believe that Michael was killed between November 7th, 2015, that's the last day that he was seen, and November 10th, 2015, that's the first day that he didn't show up to work.
On November 11th, Laurie sent a private message via a work server to Alicia Ray, her sister, stating, Mike left yesterday, packed his stuff, and went to the airport.
On approximately November 12th, John Borglum texted Michael and received the response, I'm having issues at home in Georgia right now. Just fire me or I'll quit. I will not be returning anytime soon. Frank Merritt went to the Shaver home on November 13th to check on him, and Laurie told him that Michael left and went to Georgia after they got into a fight about another woman's number being in his phone. And then there's this, quote, beginning on November 9th, 2015, friends and family of Michael Shaver, to include Robert Mercado, Frank Merritt, and his boss, John Borglum, received texts and Facebook messages from Michael. These texts and Facebook messages were unlike Michael in tone. For example, telling his boss to go ahead and fire him because he wouldn't be coming back to work. Or how about this? In September of 2016, Desiree Snyder, this is Michael's niece, sent a Facebook message to Michael and received the reply, who are you? And I don't have a family anymore. I have no clue who you are. Now stop messaging me. Think about that. Michael's family points out that Laurie would not have recognized Desiree's maiden name. Michael obviously would. So again, goes to this idea, was she impersonating him? So you can see the evidence that is building up against Laurie, right? Didn't even talk about the finances yet. How about this? After November 9th, 2015, Michael Shaver's debit card never used again for any in-person store purchases. But then on November 19th and again on November 23rd, 2015, two separate online purchases are made at wish.com using his debit card. And it is confirmed through wish.com receipts that these purchases consisted of female lingerie and clothing items and were both shipped, you guessed it, to Laurie Shaver at the Shaver residence.
I got a
There were also
package.
allegations that someone was depositing checks into his account and withdrawing money, and that she made a fraudulent loan deposit in his name, that Laurie was selling and attempting to sell Michael's guns, tools, car, possessions. And now I want to talk about a guy named Jeremy Townsend. So Jeremy Townsend was interviewed and stated that he began dating Laurie Shaver in approximately September of 2015 after she told him she had left her husband. Now, the first time that Jeremy came to Laurie's home in approximately December, he noticed what he thought was blood stains on the thigh of her jeans. And he asked her if that was blood on her jeans. Laurie changed the jeans, never wore them again. Jeremy remarked that prior to that, Laurie wore those jeans 3 times per week, but he never saw them again. Quote, beginning in February 2016 and for several months, Jeremy Townsend's wife, Vanessa, received Facebook messages from Michael Shaver's account and then text messages from someone claiming to be Michael. The Facebook messages went unread until April when she received a flower delivery at work with the message, "Roses are red, violets are blue, my wife is a whore, your husband is too. Check your Facebook message, we need to talk, Mike." And then it goes on to state, quote, these messages and photographs were solely intended to notify Vanessa of the affair between Jeremy and Laurie to encourage Vanessa to leave Jeremy. A friend of the Shavers, Mary Lunenberg, showed detectives a text message between herself and Michael that read, Michael, where he says, she wants my life insurance, referring to Laurie Shaver. Mary replies, she's got to kill you first. Michael replied, she tried to yesterday, I'm sure. Now, Mary was unable to remember the exact date of the text due to it being saved on an old phone, but stated that it was 2014 or 2015. And I have another incident I want to discuss. Quote, Laurie Shaver was known to keep a pink .38 caliber handgun on her nightstand. On September 4th, 2014, she retrieved this revolver from her nightstand and used it during the domestic violence incident in which she hit Michael in the head with the gun, causing a laceration. Michael was arrested for simple battery domestic. By the way, in the arrest affidavit from that specific incident, there was one particularly alarming line that read, quote, Michael stated that Laurie retrieved her Cobra revolver out of her nightstand and stated she was going to end it now. Well, going back to our probable cause affidavit that we're talking about in Laurie's case, it reads, in approximately October 2017, Laurie sold a pink .38 caliber handgun to a neighbor, Robert Kaya, who later turned it over to the LCSO. This handgun has been forensically compared to the .38 caliber class projectile recovered from Michael Shaver's skull and was unable to be included or excluded as being the weapon that killed Mr. Shaver. Of course, the question becomes, was she trying to get rid of it? So with all of that, Laurie Shaver, Laurie Firmer, is ultimately arrested in 2020, and she is charged with second-degree murder, domestic violence, accessory after the fact. Now, her trial is supposed to start next month, but the defense has a bombshell. In a filing last year, they claim that the couple's daughter, who was 7 or 8 years old back in 2015, she was the one who shot and killed Michael. Yes, that she confessed this when she was 14 years old. The state has countered that, saying, quote, factually, that evidence is going to be debunked by the simple facts of the case and that her story is just not credible. And it seems, based on a recently filed motion, they want to try to limit what the defense can argue in a trial. In a recently filed motion in limine, these are pretrial motions to limit evidence from being introduced at a trial, the state says, quote, in the instant case, there is no claim nor evidence that the decision to charge defendant and not to charge others with these crimes arose out of any impermissible motive such as race, religion, or gender discrimination. Whether or not another person should also be charged or why there was a delay in the prosecution filing a specific charge in no way tends to prove or disprove defendant's guilt and therefore is irrelevant. Defendant should not be permitted to argue either directly or indirectly that another person should also have been charged with these crimes or elicit testimony or advance argument regarding the delay in charging Laurie Shaver. Okay, a lot to process there, right? So with all of that, I had an opportunity to sit down with Laurie's attorney, Jeffrey Wiggs, and I wanted to sort out this development and the state's argument and try to make sense of what we can expect at trial. But as you will see, he hit us with another bombshell about who may be responsible for Michael's death.
Sorry.
Start off, how is your client doing right now?
I'm moving everything around, y'all. Forgive me.
Healthy. Of course, a little nervous about her trial coming up.
Sorry.
Yeah. And by the way, how were you brought onto the case?
I've just been around a long, long time. And so Laurie knew probably who I was within the community. Yep. Just contacted me when things happen.
It's a good thing for a lawyer to say. I've been around a long time. That means you built up a great reputation. And so I can hear that. I do want to ask you, though, because there's a lot of questions. And I think the number one question that I had when I was researching this case, and I think a lot of people would have, Why was Laurie charged so many years after Michael's death?
Well, I don't know when. The state has never established a date of death on this case. They've reached kind of presumptions when they believe that Michael died. They don't really have a firm date of death. So it's
I apologize, you guys. I got a new toy. Looky, looky, looky. Let me do this to make it easier for y'all to see. I got a new toy. It's a stand for my ATEM Extreme, but it changes colors. And I didn't know it did that. I just thought it was a clear stand, which I'm good for, And no, this little bugger actually changes color. Isn't that cool? I know. Everything on my desk changes colors, even my mat. And so I accidentally moved something and it made a big noise. I do apologize. I'm so, so, so sorry. Did not mean to blow out any eardrums. Usually I give a warning. So that tells me I need to turn that baby down. I also got a big one here to put my laptop on because I'm going to bring the laptop in here. So kind of cool. Okay, back to the story while I search for
kind of
courts and do this.
speculative on their end as to specifically when Michael even died.
I guess the question would be, well, there was activity in 2018, and yet your client wasn't charged till 2020, right? So do you know what was happening between those 2 years?
Well, it was law enforcement received some well-being check, went out to the residence, looked around, later came back with a warrant to search the property. At that time, they located a body and then left and then started trying to saying she did it. There's a lot of facts behind this story that we tried to explain to the state, just kind of got shoved out the door.
Let's analyze that bit, because here's the big one. The evidence that, and the defense you're putting forward, is that Laurie and Michael's daughter is the one who is responsible for killing Michael. And my understanding is she wants to testify, right? But the state is trying to block that from happening. If you can elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, what happened is Laurie came in and confided in me, spoke to me about the events of the case, what had transpired. She obviously didn't want to involve anybody else in the matter. And the daughter, speaking through somebody else, persisted in pushing her mom to let her be involved in this thing, let her testify. So Laurie eventually gave in. And we then, first thing I did is I sat down with the daughter, just asked her a couple preliminary questions to see if everything lined up, so to speak. And when I could tell it did, we moved the court, asked for a attorney ad litem to be appointed on behalf of the daughter. That attorney was appointed. It's Kelly Johnson. Kelly sat and has met with the daughter, spoken to her, gone over the rights that she'd be waiving by testifying. Kelly, discerned that her testimony would be free and voluntary and she'd understand the rights that she's waiving. We then approached the state attorney's office to let them know there were some facts that the state was not aware of that the state should be apprised of. And that is, at the time of this death, Laurie was dating another individual. This individual was present within the residence at the demise of Michael Shaver, that he had entered the residence and Laurie had been beaten up, was on the floor. the minor child had been involved at that stage to some extent. And we don't know precisely, if that minor child had actually provided the fatal shot to Michael at that stage. But this other individual that she was dating had taken the gun and fired a shot into Michael. So we went to the state and we told them, hey, there's facts you're not aware of. We want to cooperate with you. We want you to listen to us. And we want you to listen to this minor child as well. Well, basically, I was just shown the door, told there's the door. We'll see you in court. So the state never really wanted to investigate the case, never spoke to the daughter, never did any additional research into the issue. And so here we are. We're just stuck now going to trial.
Well, why do you think the state did that? Because if you ask the state, right, they're going to say the evidence lines up with your client being the one who killed Michael,
Right.
not your daughter,
Right.
not her daughter, not this other individual. Why do they say that? Why are they so confident in this evidence that your
Well,
client did?
the state will take a position. That position is usually lined up with whatever law enforcement brings them. If they fix a position, they usually don't want to be arguing with law enforcement. They want to just go down the garden path and say, hey, this is what they're telling us. Let's go in and try to sell it. They don't want to go back to law enforcement and say, hey, maybe you guys made a decision that's not the appropriate one to make. Maybe we need to look at this and look at that. So they don't want to fight with their own team, so to speak. So that's where we're at. It's just really a lack of investigation all the way through it.
Where's the court on this at this point, at the time of this
Well,
recording?
the judge doesn't involve himself in it. The judge he's just going to deal with it as it appears in trial.
But is Laurie's daughter going to be able to testify and explain this side of the story to the jury?
Yes.
She's permitted to testify.
She will testify. Yes.
And the big question would be, just going back to it, you don't have an idea of when
This is
exactly
true,
this
Zach.
occurred, right? And my understanding is, why would this young girl, when she was so young, why would she allegedly open fire and kill her father?
Okay. Laurie had been through years of physical abuse by Mr. Shaver. I mean, this had gone on for years and years. There's incident reports. Laurie had gone down, filed petitions for injunctive relief to keep him away from her. Mr. Shaver had been prosecuted for battery. There had been DCF reports.
Sorry.
This was an ongoing event. Mr. Shaver had done
Miss
some
Haley
really,
Mouse
really,
or anybody, can you
improper
tell me
things over
if
the
y'all
course
know
of this marriage.
where this is going to be done
And,
live? I am not finding, I know they're supposed to be going live today, but what time? When? I thought they said noon, but now I'm not sure. I'm not finding I'm not finding the feed. Hi, Zach. Yeah, but they were going to go live as soon as the jury selection had ended, and they anticipated, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So we'll be here. I'm playing with getting all my stuff lit up. You ought to see this. I'll take a picture and post it once everything's lit and on. It looks pretty dang cool, y'all. I don't know what time they end. I was told that they expected to be on today approximately about noon, 1 o'clock, but that could be wrong. Nothing's ever 100% accurate in this business. But we'll continue watching this because I don't know a whole lot about this case. I just know the very little, and we're going to watch this and learn a little more. And then as soon as it goes on, we're on.
This child had witnessed it. This family lived really in a state of turmoil with Michael. And I mean, there's plenty of evidence out there to demonstrate this. Now, the court is not going to get tied up with, array of all these incidents, but to an extent, some of this will come out in the trial. I think some of it has to come out.
I think a fair question could be, and maybe one that the jury will have to struggle with, is if this is true, and you have a 7-year-old who maybe was protecting her mother, why wouldn't Laurie just tell police at the moment? The daughter probably would, there's a strong chance, wouldn't have been charged. And your client, maybe she could have been charged with respect to not properly securing the weapon, but she wouldn't be charged right now with killing her husband. So I guess the question is, and the jury will ask, and will ask themselves, why didn't she just come clean and say what was really happened? I understand a mother wants to protect her daughter, but the circumstances could be understandable, no?
Yeah, well, what had happened is this boyfriend at that time had come in and shot Mr. Shaver and even threatened the family. Told them, look, I'll take care of this. You get these kids out of here. Laurie left with the children and came back, and the body was gone. There was no more talk about it. And that was that. I think Laurie was at peace with the fact that Mr. Shaver was out of her life and didn't want to draw any more attention to, what had happened.
In other words, she is pleading not guilty even with respect to hiding the body. She doesn't know what happened until law enforcement discovered the body. That's the narrative.
Yeah, she didn't have anything to do with the body. Mr. Townsend had removed the body. She returned home. The body was gone. She had reason to believe he had taken the body off-site to a different property, is what was communicated to me, and just had no reason to assume anything had transpired other than that.
Is he going to be called as a witness, Mr. Townsend?
Well, Mr. Townsend?
Yeah.
I presume he will. I believe the state will probably need him to set up some kind of timeline for the state. I have questions for him. I've tried to subpoena him. I haven't gotten a return of service on him. I don't know if he's evading service or what he's doing, but yeah, we've tried to subpoena him at this stage.
Because he sounds like the critical witness to your defense, right?
Well, you would hope so. His position is, in his deposition was that he barely knew Laurie and knew her basically for a few days, something to that extent. And minor child was deposed by the state, and her testimony was quite different. Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be tough to convince the jury of this? Because look, how many cases do we hear about a significant other killing their partner, their ex, their estranged? It happens all the time. To say that there's this other guy that came in, that this young daughter was maybe involved, do you think that's going to be hard to convince the jury?
For the state,
for you.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I can't change the facts. This young lady's going to get up there and she's going to say, this is what happened. Now there's no DNA, there's no tangible evidence, there's no forensics, nothing that links Laurie to this crime. And so really the state's case is just going to be on an attempt to make a disparaging character of Miss Shaver. That's what their case is going to be, really, to say this was improper or this was improper, these type of innuendos to try to jump to the next conclusion and say, thus Laurie Shaver murdered Michael Shaver. Well, that's going to be a pretty big burden, really.
And just to
Me neither,
clarify
love.
this one point, it's the obligation of the prosecution to not really seek a conviction, but to seek justice in a manner. If they have exculpatory evidence, they have to turn it over. If they find evidence that your client is innocent, this changes the game. I'm still confused, I guess, by the role of the court here. They're just letting both sides work it out without getting involved and saying, wait a minute, we have a serious issue of a witness who's claiming that her mother wasn't responsible for this. We have evidence to show, and the court's saying, we'll just allow it to see what happens at trial?
Well, to an extent, there's been motions that have been filed in the case and some rulings at this stage, but the judge cannot substitute the court's judgment for that of a jury when it comes to questions of fact. So, you know, while I wish the judge may, you know, but we got to sit back and let some things unfold.
Speaking of that, there were a number of motions that you recently argued to the court. You wanted the court to exclude all reference to firearms. The state, though, said, the state attorney actually said that the bullet that was found in Mr. Shaver's skull is a .38 caliber, and the firearm that Mrs. Shaver used to own the pink revolver was the type of firearm that could, in fact, fire a .38 caliber projectile, which is consistent with what was found in Mr. Shaver's head. What did the judge decide there, and what did you make of the prosecution's argument?
I thought the argument was literally pretty lame. I mean, that's like saying, you know, the defendant was traveling in a Dodge Ram or something like that. And there was a Dodge Ram involved in this case. You know, there's case law explicitly on that in cases Agathis. And in that case, the state was allowed to discuss sale of guns that occurred at a distant point in time. And that case got reversed. So I was a little surprised that the judge would even entertain that prospect, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see where it ends up.
So the judge is allowing that evidence to come in?
I'm not definitively sure. Of course, you get into trial and there's going to be an objection. We'll see how the state tries to link it up. All evidence has to be probative of a material fact. Now, I don't know where the state thinks they're going with it. You know, I don't know where
they're saying that the bullet that was found or allegedly found in his skull is consistent with the firearm that she may have owned at one point. And if there's, it seems like the state would have an opportunity to argue that.
No, well, the point is, there's no ballistics that link up any projectile to any particular gun. So to say, hey, we got a projectile and it's of a .38 caliber. I mean, my word, you know, how many millions of .38 calibers are there out there? And I don't link it to that particular gun on any particular date.
It's an interesting argument. There was also this effort, right, to not allow evidence in of signed checks and signed postcards. The state says it was to show a timeline of the events in this case, but you disagree, right?
Yeah, I disagree. One, the state doesn't have really, I mean, they're trying to narrow down a timeline for their convenience, as opposed to using the information on the charging document. When they need to try to narrow things down, then they try to say, oh, it's relevant to establishing a timeline. Well, that's not the case. They're bound by the information, and the state just wants to kind of shift gears and then try to persuade the court that they're doing it under a different auspice, and that's not the motive.
What do you think the prosecution really wants that in for?
Just really to prejudice the jury in any way they can.
How so? What would it show in the what are they thinking? Or again, what is your interpretation of what the prosecution is hoping that would show the jury that you say is unfair?
What reference to what?
The signed checks, the postcards, what do you think the real motive of the prosecution is? What are they trying to establish there?
Anything that will prejudice the jury.
Okay.
Anything that they can argue this was from Laurie or this was for this purpose or that purpose. Now, I understand, you know, what they're trying to do. I don't know if the state is aware of other people that may have done some of those things.
And my final question to you before I let you go is, what kind of jury are you going to be looking for in a case like this?
A fair jury. Really a fair jury. You know, I don't want some wild, you know, renegade jury. Just want somebody that's really willing to follow the law. If you're willing to sit down and impose the law pursuant to the standards that are imposed by law, then Laurie's got a good chance. Because if you're just going to get angry and try to reach a verdict based on anger, I think that's what the state's motive is. Try to find a jury that may be angry and upset, as opposed to a jury that's wanting to follow the law and impose the standards.
Mm-hmm. And sorry, one more question before I let you go. I was just thinking about this, and you probably won't know the answer because it's not your decision. But has Laurie given you any indication that she would like to testify, to take the stand, to explain her side of the story about what happened?
That's always a decision that the clients.
Right.
I don't really interfere with that. I'll advise her as to my feelings or impressions about it. Let her make that decision. But I think maybe she'll just make that decision at trial.
Yep.
She may testify, she may not. I'll have some clients sometimes that'll testify. Sometimes some of them are too nervous to testify. And so we'll see. We'll see what she wants to do at trial.
It all depends. It all depends on seeing how the case goes. Jeffrey Wiggs, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate your perspective and telling us what's going on. Appreciate it.
Okay, my pleasure.
All right, that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time.
Ooh, oh. I am trying to get.
And it has turned to its Mengqi.
She came here first as an exchange student and she started out as a great love.
She was having.
I am trying to get my thing set up. Yeah. I don't think it's very often that, honestly, I don't think it's very often that an attorney is going to encourage their client to testify in any way, shape, or form. Honestly, it has to be a very unique situation. And I think that is where we are with this. I don't know if I would have her testify. I think anytime you try to get up on the stand and testify in your own defense, you are risking what happened in, I guess, Murdahl and the last one we just did. So, guys, I'm not a proponent personally for getting up on the stand and testifying. I am rarely a proponent for that when it comes to an individual. I just think that it's too risky. What do you think? I'm got cords and stuff. I'm trying to, believe it or not, reorganize my desk a little bit because I've got my little iPad Pro 12 I'm setting up over here. So I can have, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monitors with the iPad Pro 12. So it's just a matter of me orchestrating a few things. So anywho, we are awaiting news on the hearing. As soon as the jury is seated, we'll have opening arguments and then we will go from there. That is a weird angle, honestly, for me, a very weird angle. I don't know about that. I don't. I apologize if I seem a little bit on. I got Broken Baker up here. I'm going to ask a question. So I just asked him if he knew of anybody who's going to be covering the trial. I guess y'all have heard of. Can y'all hear Broken Baker right now talking? Can y'all hear the talking? I hope not. He won't get mad if you do. Okay, good. Good. I'm waiting. He's- So he thinks it's court TV. Okay, so Brandy and he and I are covering this trial. Nobody knows. So we'll just keep going on. We'll keep looking at other things and we'll do. Yeah, I mean, out of everything that bothers me is the fact that she is literally throwing her child under the bus. And I'm all like, I want to look at her and go, you ain't no good mama if you doing that. She's in the courtroom this week? Ooh, that's why the other lady was doing her live for her. Oh my gosh, that makes sense, y'all. Okay, that makes sense. That helps. That helps. That makes sense. Oh my god, that's so awesome. I'll have to have her come on my show. Nothing like cold french fries. Um, that's why the other lady was doing her show today. Yes, she did. I did watch that. Trying to see is there anything else that we can watch. We have the um Ahmad Al Ali whatever supermarket ending the lives of people at the supermarket that's going on right now. Mm, that's going on right now. We have the thug, young thug one going on right now. Don't really particularly care for that. So Kohlberger will be moved to a new location. For those who have not heard, the Princess of Wales is no longer on chemo. She finished her treatment. Congratulations. I do understand how that feels. That's awesome. She's still got a long road to hoe. She's really, 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 really going to be um no way. That Kentucky case is okay, so we still have that active shooting thing going on there. Okay, guys. She did, but I don't want to but I'd love to share it, but I can't. So I'm looking for stuff for us to do. And I got a pupper sitting here loving on me. Okay, I am going to share this because I do have viewers that are from Kentucky. So I will share this. Sensei, seriously?
At exit 49, where we believe the shots had.
He's the lead investigator on this, and also he's the commander of SRT team. And at this time, I'll let him come up and kind of explain what we're doing and the containment. Hopefully that will answer some questions. And then after he speaks, we'll open it up. And if you guys have questions, we'll try to get you answers.
Thank you, Sheriff. So I'm going to address what we did up to tonight, and then I'll tell you the steps that we have taken this evening. Yesterday, when the shooting occurred about 5:30. By the time we pinned down the vehicle and formed a pretty good theory of what happened, it was close to dark. That terrain at exit 49, where we believe the shots had come from, very unforgiving terrain, not a safe place to put people in the dark searching for a needle in a haystack. So we formed a perimeter last night at exit 49. We had a counter sniper team there all night long. We did not continue actively searching. We just contained it last night. We waited for daylight in order to approach it again and see if we could locate the actual crime scene. We went back this morning. We took a tactical team up on the mountain, and we located 3 different sites where there was evidence. As the sheriff said, we located where we are now certain that the shots were fired from. We have searched that area all day long. And at some time this afternoon, I don't know exactly what time we did it, we have asked the KSP to step in and take over the manhunt and run the manhunt for us, because we have exhausted the personnel we had available to do it. We will continue the criminal investigation throughout in conjunction with FBI, ATF, the city, everyone here. But we at this point have turned the manhunt over to the Kentucky State Police, and we will be assisting them moving forward in that regard. That's it as far as the containment is concerned.
And I would like to say, to the residents, I think a question is, you guys quit at night. Well, what's to say, this guy's not moving on the ground at night? Well, he may be. Last night, we're not going to send deputies, troopers, FBI agents, or whatever in walking through the woods because we do know this guy is armed. Supposedly armed, and that's why he could be sitting, and we're not going to be setting ducks in the woods. But we did have snipers that was on point that stayed at scene all night last night, looking at the ridge where the shots was fired from. And I can guarantee you one thing: we're doing aggressive patrols. I spoke with the KSP Public Affairs Officer Scotty over here, and he says, they have like 20 units that's going to be in the area on patrol tonight. The sheriff's office has patrol units. The city has patrol units. We've had numerous outside agencies that's come in to tell us. So when we say, these efforts cease at night, it's just for the safety of those that's searching, but still yet we have patrol efforts going. So at this time, I will open it up, and we will do our best to try to answer your question.
Sheriff, he may be watching this. What is your message to him?
Well, my message would be, that we would ask that he would give himself up. And we're not going to quit until we do lay hands on him. We was really hoping, maybe we wish that would have been last night. We was hoping today. We hope tonight. We hope tomorrow. But this effort is not going to stop. We've already got all the arrest warrants. The Commonwealth Attorney here has prepared that, looked over that. Everything's in place. So if we do lay hands on him, that we will take him into custody. So if he's watching, it would be his best interest to surrender and turn himself in. Hopefully, no more harm to no one else, or to the residents, or to our officers.
Sheriff, you seem to believe pretty perfectly that he's still armed. I'm curious, was there any evidence that you found, a second caliber round or something like that would indicate that this individual is carrying another firearm?
No, we're going on what we've been told, and like I say, it is open investigation. I really can't elaborate on that, but we have been told that. As far as knowing, we've not laid hands on him. We've not recovered no other weapons. That's just what we've been told that we're passing on to you.
Can I ask, what do you mean that's what you've been told?
We've been told by some outside sources that he could be armed, but we're not revealing that. We don't know. We cannot verify that. Like I said, we've not laid eyes on him or contacted him. We don't know, but we have been told. That's the way we're going to treat it, you know.
Do we?
Sources, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But these are sources outside of, when you say outside sources outside of law enforcement.
Yes.
Do we know how he obtained the AR-15 firearm that he used, and how many other weapons he made own?
He obtained a firearm at a local place here in London, but it was obtained, you know, legally. He went through the ATF. He went through all the proper paperwork, and we have the paperwork. We have that paperwork, copies of the receipts. But that was obtained, you know, like you know, if you're not a felon or something, you know, if you can go in and you can fill the paperwork, anyone can purchase the guns.
When was that?
That was yesterday.
Around what time this evening did the active search conclude?
I think it was after dark, right at the edge of dark. But you know, when you say conclude, you know, it's like last night. You know, at dark we did conclude, but KSP had choppers up with FLIRs. We had drones with FLIRs. You know, but it was right at dark today.
How big is the search area, and how much has been searched?
I have somebody else will probably have to answer that. It's huge, and that area, you know, I know you guys have heard all day that it's just really, really rough terrain. A lot of cliffs, mountains. It's really rough terrain. But I don't know if anybody got a better. There's thousands of acres. I mean, I can't tell you exactly how many. There's just thousands of acres. Yeah. It's a big area. It's very secluded. A lot of national force on it.
How many people were searching?
I would say 150 plus. You know, I mean, I don't know if you can say actively searching. We have a lot of supervisors, you know, that's there, but going probably the ground crews, I'd say it'd be safe to say Captain 40 to 50 maybe on searches, you know, just a rough estimate. I can't give you an exact number, but a large group.
What time will searches start tomorrow?
Probably going to be meeting in the morning at 0800, and the searches will start shortly after that.
What can you share about the background?
I'll have to let somebody else speak on that.
He's originally from the Knox-Whitley County area, and he does have a military background. He served in the National Guard for at least 4 years, and he was a member of the Engineer Battalion.
You guys mentioned that this area is large. Can you describe the terrain? Why is it so rugged?
I'll explain why last night was. So if you are getting off at exit 49, if you're coming southbound on the interstate and you look to your right, there's a cliff there. Okay. And that cliff has a ledge on the top, and it has a ledge about 30 feet.
Josh, if you can post that, a link to that, I'll be happy to go over it.
Cliff where he fired from. And that's characteristic of that entire area back there. So in order for me to find that this morning, when we located that site, I had to grab a tree and lean over and look. So that's impossible to do in the nighttime without falling off a cliff.
So aside from exit 45, are you guys canvassing any other areas?
I'm Master Trooper Scotty Pennington, Kentucky State Police. I'm the Public Affairs Officer here at the London Post. First, I want to thank everybody up here. The Sheriff's Department, City Police, ATF, they have worked tremendously hard at this effort, and this is why they've asked us to come in and help with the manhunt. There's no way that they can continue to do this and do it safely. So we've got 16 posts around the state police, and we've requested troopers from several different posts to come in and help with this manhunt. Around 1,600 hours tonight, Sheriff's requested the Kentucky State Police to come in and help with the manhunt. We activated around 20 to 25 troopers from other posts and our post. And about an hour after that, we went in and searched a very, when you say large area, for walking in a jungle, so that's what you're basically in, it's a large area. I mean, you actually need machetes and everything to get through these thickets of woods. And, you know, you can't do it very fast because you don't want to leave no rock unturned, and you don't know if he's in that area. So you got to be very slow paced at what you do. So that's why we brought in all the extra resources. We will continue to stay in the area. Us, the Sheriff's Department, Rockcastle County Sheriff's Department, will be in this area, make sure the citizens in that community, they feel some kind of sense of security and safety. Just give us time, and hopefully we can resolve this in a timely manner, in a very quick manner. I'm open for any other questions. I hope I answered your question.
How concerned should residents be that there's this guy out there and he's most likely armed?
Well, I mean, you need to lock your doors. You need to, if you have security cameras, make sure you're constantly watching them. Maybe keep your porch lights on. Have communication, have your cell phone, and make sure your phones are charged up, because you never know when you might have to contact somebody or law enforcement. And we want those tips. Like the sheriff said, we want you to call us. Don't care if it's a county over, if it's a Dollar General store, you see somebody walking up down interstate. We want you to call us, and we're going to answer those calls. No matter if it's a small road, it's a gravel road, it's a creek bed, it's an interstate, we're going to have officers and troopers and deputies.
You can just leave it in the comment,
until more
and then I
work.
can monitor it if need be. Oh, it is on the Orange
At this
County
time, I
Clerk
don't know that
website? Okay,
information.
I'll pull it.
There's a lot of smarter people than me behind me.
Thank you.
Behind the scenes working on things to try to find those answers. If maybe he's been in that area before, and that's technology that I don't know how to use, but we have resources that are trying to help us with that.
You know what his motive is yet?
I don't know what his motive is yet. That part is still under investigation by the Sheriff's Department.
To be clear, however, this was at random. He was up there shooting at people at random.
I don't know why anybody would go up there and start shooting at people. I can't get in somebody's brain of why they do something this crazy. But it's an act of violence, and innocent people.
Okay, they're just going to keep going over the same thing. Why does she have this in handwriting on 9/5/24? Why is this not typed up by her attorney? I want to know. I have questions. Let me download it, and then I will open it up and show y'all. This is weird. Really weird. Strange, y'all. Yeah, it does. Interesting. But I would think her attorney would have his clerk type it up. Why did it not show up in my downloads? Shoot. Hold on. See if my son can get that. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait a second. All right, I'll be right back. Let's play a commercial. Hey, y'all, please help me welcome the Hitchman Homestead Coffee. They are fabulous. They have many different blends of freshly roasted, freshly ground coffee. They have a monthly club where you get 4 bags for $40 or a Keurig option. Also, they just came out with a half and half. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. So do me a favor. go down to the link below at hitchmanhomestead.com, order you some coffee, and show them some love. Come on, Sensei, let's go. Sensei, here. Nothing. Come on. I apologize, you guys. Unfortunately, my son is still not feeling well, and I had to grab the door. So, my apologies, my apologies. So, I am going to grab that document. We're going to go on and we're going to read the document. And I am still trying to see. We're just keeping an eye. Let me get the page up on the court's TV to see if they actually start. Because I remember in a hearing that they stated that they were, if they could get the jury at a decent time, that they would start the opening comments. So that's kind of important. So let's get, I had it up and it just didn't like me. Sensei. Okay, it's at a boom. It's a thinking. I really want to say I appreciate all of y'all for joining me. It is being a Monday for me. Nothing is seeming easy today, and I apologize. Um, I would love to sit and play Brandy's, but I'm not going to without her permission, and that is something that I need to get. That is, what? We have a notice of unavailability. We have the notice of intent. Okay. Okay, and then we have the 10 docket of objections. Motion for cost, new appearance, comment for record. Okay. So let's get those up and running for y'all. Who's a good girl? And of course, my hearing aid saying, I need to get recharged. Recharge me. Recharge me. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. So I think what we're going to do, that's not the one I need. That one and that one. Okay. So let's get these bad boys up. Sensei, place. My dog is laying on my feet. Expand. There we go. Let's share page. Sorry, it's taken me a minute. Usually I have a lot of this stuff downloaded ahead of time, but that didn't happen today because I just found out about it. Okie dokie, let's get going on this. Let's do this and try to get this embiggened as possible for you guys. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Toxic. Let me see the DM. There we go. Thank you, love. Appreciate it. Okay, notice of unavailability. Here comes now the undersigned state attorney and hereby gives notice that he will be unavailable for depositions, hearings, and or trials beginning of the 16th through the 20th of December. Okay, so they can't do anything. Big deal. Here's what we want to really see right here. So let me share this screen. I want to make sure y'all can see it. That is about as big as I can get it, guys. I apologize. However, I must say her handwriting today looks a lot easier to read than others. Looks like she took more time. This was filed, well, this was written on the 28th of August before the attorneys and filed electronically on the 5th. So why her attorneys did not do anything with that, I don't know. In the Circuit Court of the Ninth, blah, 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 Sarah Bloom, defendant, motion to object by title defendant to state's digital evidence USB jump drive. Comes now the defendant, Sarah Boone, by way of purpose, respectfully requests that this honorable court that may motion be heard as to any reasons why I am, or something reasons why I am objecting to the state's evidence against me and exclude or limit the following particular items attempting to be admitted into my circumstances by the state. That's right, Toxic. You can get it at the gavel drops. Objections are for digital content, specifically only located on the thumb drive titled as, okay. Number one, suitcase video, 3 items. These files were obtained from my personal cell phone. There was no video located in the folder on the jump drive. So I guess the X is the complaint, the period dot next to her. I mean, the period next to it. What? X's? Oh, God. Oh. And then there's the 0161 photograph a suitcase 001062 audio 2 minutes 3 seconds and 1063 audio 22 seconds. The lack of authenticity. There is no one to testify that the pictures and audio are the same as the scene was at the time the audio recording and photographs were taken. Yeah, this was sent like the day before. Are you kidding me? They can authenticate your voice, my dear. They can have his family authenticate his voice. The prosecution failed to establish authenticity in any of the 3 items submitted under the Florida state statutes. Potential for unfair prejudice. I believe that the singular reason to utilize this audio is for the state to herely prejudice the jury against me based on my statements in the audio of. Okay, wait a minute. They can use this against her. Do you know why? Look at what she just said. Y'all, let's look at this. She just blatantly said they could not authenticate this video. But her very next point in B, A, you could not authenticate it, right? You just did. And they can use this in evidence. You said right here, I believe that the singular reason to utilize this audio is for the state to hearingly prejudice the jury against me based on my statements. Instead of these statements, she put my. Oh, that's a screw up on her end, y'all. Prosecutor's evidence is more prejudice than probative. Okay, we'll go to C. Violation of the Fourth Amendment rights, unlawful search and seizure. The audio was obtained by an unlawful search and seizure of my personal cell phone, and the defense moves to exclude under my Fourth Amendment right. 4. Body cams, 4 items. The lack of authenticity. All of the body cam videos obtained from the uniformed officers on the date of the incident are timestamped and documented incorrectly during the entire use while at crime scene. Well, that's possible. Violation of best evidence rule. The state files that provide the best version of this evidence under the best evidence rule. The state has not provided true and accurate video evidence, and the defense moves to exclude the body cam videos. Now, they can get a tech, I mean, if they were off, so for example, if they were off by an hour or whatever, and the whole system's off by an hour, they can get somebody up there to authenticate that. So I don't know. That's iffy to me, but I'm not a lawyer yet. Violation of Miranda rights. The body cam videos record me making statements and providing information prior to me being given my Miranda warnings. These are alleged interrogations in violation of my Fifth Amendment right and should be excluded. Defendants interviews. Okay. If the police show up at your apartment because there's a deceased person in your apartment in a suitcase, and they ask you one question and you just start running off at the mouth, and then they can ask you questions all they want. But your problem is you were too damn drunk, Miss Sarah Boone, and therefore you were blabbing all kind of stuff. In fact, you were willing to hug them at one point because you were so happy they were there. So please tell me, how is it against your Miranda rights when you called the police and you started blabbing? I mean, at that point, if she's talking about on the crime scene, at that point, they weren't sure what they were dealing with, in my humble opinion. I don't know. Everybody should know, and you should know. And if you don't know this by now, even at an accident scene, anything and everything you do and say can be used against you at some point. Okay, got to get that back up for me. The lack of authentication or whatever, this interrogation video has no timestamp throughout the entirety of the 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 3 seconds. Yeah, I know, right? Violation of best evidence rules. State failed to provide versions of this evidence. Okay, we know what that is already. Defendant requests that the due date be extended to submit objections based on. Oh, God, here we go. The is unable to utilize her 6th constructional amendment right to counsel. Has never been pro se before. Oh, Lord, who has? How many of us, can we raise our hand, have been pro se before? Is currently incarcerated. Well, that's why you were pro se and needed an attorney, because, my dear, you are incarcerated. Oh my God. Has extremely limited and restricted resources to conduct an exclusive legal research for further support objections. No internet. Oh, honey boo boo. There's a full freaking law library at every jail. Does not have full-time use of access of laptop. Biatch, please. Okay, we're going to go there. For those who don't know what I'm getting ready to do, this is what I call my Sarah Boone siren. Honey boo boo. But you had already met with an attorney 2 or 3 times by this point, my dear. Does not have full-time. Okay, does not have access to privacy temporary for in-depth review of discovery. Oh, come on, BS. You could have had it, you didn't take it. Oh, you love that, Pickles? Oh my gosh. Why are you blinking like that? That's not how I want you to blink. Let's fix you, darling. Okay. Has limited access to investigator. Has limited access to the defense team investigator to collaborate and complete greater work products. She's guessed a new attorney. These objections were done as expeditiously as possible based on my current circumstance. She now has 2 attorneys. The process for pro se defendant requires much more time, especially while incarcerated, than that of an unrestricted, well-educated. Oh, so you're calling yourself freaking dumb. Resourceful attorney who is fully capable. Well, do you know what? You had 8 of them. Now you've got 9 and 10. And she wants an in-court oral argument. Moves this honorable court to considerations and to hear the oath, certificate of service, and its mail. Boo hoo hoo hoo. Oh. Really? Sarah Boone? I don't get it. Yeah, there's a secondary, and they are pro bono. I don't know why it was said that the other one said that. Now she may be paying the first one, second one may be pro bono. I am not sure at this point. It's not what I want. I'm looking to see what's available. We're keeping an eye out, y'all. I got court TP up on one side, law and crime on the other side, and see what we can get. Live. Live. Yeah, I mean, at least they might have a thumbnail up to say, "Hey, we're starting tomorrow." Um, so let me look at that court docket because I want to see. Let me look and see because I've got the docket up here. I had it up here. Okay, let me get it back up here again because I want to see. I really, really want to see if they have any other things popping up. But my biggest frustration with Sarah Boone is the fact that we're sitting here just days from trial and they're pulling this crap. Oh, I wish I had a way to get a hold of Brandy. Okay, so we have hearing dash trials starting on the 7th. So they haven't filed anything else. The 924 hearing was canceled. We had a hearing. Okay. So we now have a hearing on the 24th. I don't know what this is. Munon, Lisa T. We have another trial hearing set for trial management conference on the 26th. I need to add this to my calendar. That's what I was just getting ready to do, is go over to X and check that out and see what she has to say. Go check out this girl. She's amazing, y'all. I absolutely adore this woman. Absolutely adore her. Is she on the 13th juror? Or is it under Brandy? It's under Brandy Churchwell. September 3rd. 3 minutes ago or so close. Oh, y'all. If you are not friends with Brandy Churchwell, she needs 6 people to be 30,000 followers. Go over there and follow her. Is that here or is that follow her both places, Twitter and her YouTube. No, her YouTube channel. Go follow her, please, please, please. Please go follow her. She has not posted anything yet. She did hit this morning. Oh, awesome, awesome. Well, go love on her some more if you still haven't. I hope to get to that level one day. I do. We're much younger than her. We are much younger than her. And so therefore, I don't I am following her. She's a Christmas Eve baby. Okay, nothing on there. So let me go back and just Google No, nothing there. Oh, I'm feeling so frustrated because we were supposed to be live on that today. Or at least part of today. It is 2 o'clock here, which means it's 3 o'clock there. So I think what I'm going to do, is we are going to go ahead and close down so I can kind of finish doing what I'm doing in here. I do have some college work I have to get done. For those of you who don't know, I am a college student going to school for criminal law, and I do have homework I got to get done if I'm going to be on tomorrow. So we will be back tomorrow. Y'all liked my Sarah Boone? I do that because Miss Sarah Boone is a siren call, man. Run, 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 run. Okay, so thank you so much for watching today. We will be live tomorrow, 8 a.m. If that's when trial starts, hopefully they will have all the jurors seated by then. I don't know, but we'll see. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I appreciate and adore all of you. So, guys, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're interested, join the membership. Until tomorrow, see you then.